I almost said on the road again, but you've already been on the road and you're home
Yeah,
again.
back from the road again.
Yeah.
I experienced something yesterday, which is it won't mean anything to anybody, but it only took me like 4.5 hours to get home from Boston, which is among like when everything goes right, that's the time, and I haven't experienced that since before the pandemic, so that was very welcome. So yeah, just yay me, I guess. I don't know, who cares? But it was
We're
it was
proud of
just
you,
good.
Paul. We are.
It's been bad. That's all I'm saying.
Bad could describe my evening last night, too, watching the game. But you know what? At least I don't have to worry about football until September, I guess.
Well, that is a glass half full kind of response to that, I guess.
Oh, trust me, there was anger.
Yeah. Well, I made the same observation. When your team is not in it, you can just kind of enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah.
It's a making lemonade statement, but there's reality to it because you can't enjoy these games when it's your team.
You really don't. You're just sitting there eating carbs, just trying to pass the time.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's not like, maybe you'll experience something I never did with the Patriots, which is the Patriots never blew at anybody. They were all nail biters.
Oh, yeah, it's the Bengals. That's why they're called the cardiac cats.
Yeah, so anyway, I know it was a close game. And by the way, second year in a row, an overtime game, which is fascinating to me, right? Mm-hmm. Wasn't it overtime? Yeah.
No, it did. That game didn't go
it didn't go into overtime. Because, dude, when I went to bed, I looked at the score. It was, I think, 2020?
Yeah, no, they lost 23-20.
Yeah, but was it like 38 seconds left or something?
They scored their last field goal off of some other things.
Sorry.
With I think when the ball went through the uprights, there was 3 seconds left.
Yeah, right. Okay, I knew it was the end of the game. Yeah, okay. I saw that and I'm like, well, this is going into. I said to my wife, "It's incredible, second year in a row.
Yeah,
this will go into overtime." And then I go, "Okay, sorry."
Yep.
Okay.
And now we have to pay Joe Burrow approximately $7 billion. Otherwise, he won't be our quarterback. Sure. Anyways, the G3, does that thing have a screen on the? Your Lenovo G.
Yeah, so it has a screen on the the wrist rest or whatever.
It's a big screen.
It's a goofy design. I gotta say, I use what I'll call it's probably a small to medium sized backpack. It's not a big backpack, and you can kind of barely zip around that thing because if you think about it, it's really tall or wide. So, I personally will have no use for this thing, but I think the big use case for this may be hybrid work situation or school situation where you're watching on the screen some meeting or lecture, and then you're handwriting on that screen next to the keyboard. But
is it running Windows on that little screen?
Yeah, it's just a second screen for the computer. Yep, and it's exactly, if you go to display properties, it's one screen, one little screen. Like it's exactly what you'd think it would be. There are viewing issues with the angle, right? Because it's dimmer, because you're not, looking at it straight on. They have their own goofy little apps and things, which I haven't really looked at too much. I give them credit for experimenting, but there's all kinds of little things, if you think about it, the keyboard is shifted over, and it's shifted over more than it would be if there was a numeric keypad there. But the webcam is right there in the middle, so you're kind of over here. And it maybe it does some sort of auto centering thing. I haven't looked at that yet, but you kind of shift it over. It's a little. They're trying. It's not quite the dual screen thing. They have that newer one that the second screen pops up over the top screen of the initial screen. I don't know. We should probably explain what the hell we're talking about. By the way, this is Lenovo.
No. Just leave it in the void.
This the ThinkPad Plus. The previous gens used an e-ink screen on the outside of the display lid. So you couldn't use the two screens together, but you could use the e-ink screen to read, obviously, but also to, write on it if you wanted to, but low refresh rate, et cetera, et cetera. So, by the way, one final fact about this laptop that I think is semi-interesting is for one brief moment, about 6 months, and I'm going to call it 2013, 8-inch mini tablets were popular in the Windows space, right?
Yes, Dell had one.
Dell was the big one. Those were 8 inches. They were 1280 by 800 screens, and that's exactly what this is. It's an 8-inch 1280 by 800. So my theory is Lenovo had a bunch of those sitting around.
Oh God, from
2013, because they're great. No, I don't think that's what it is, but it is interesting that that's exactly the size and resolution.
The other fun thing that happened, this actually I think happened late on Friday, Friday the 20th, yeah, is Frank Shaw, the head of Microsoft's global communications, just kind of came out and said, Sony said, and called Sony a bunch of liars, which is hilarious. He said, I hear Sony is briefing people in Brussels claiming Microsoft is unwilling to offer them parity for Call of Duty if we acquire Activision. Nothing could be further from the truth. And he has a nice little chat thread just calling Sony out for its shenanigans. So it's...
Wow. I didn't look too far into this particular story, but related to that, Sony has also, I believe, depositioned. Is that the right word?
Deposed?
Sony for their FTC case. Because, Sony, interestingly, will have data and evidence that supports the case for Microsoft because, as we've discussed, I mean, the craziness of Sony's claims sort of is not reflected in reality.
Yeah.
It's like a torturous sentence, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Reflected in reality.
It is Monday, after all.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see what happens this week.
Yeah.
For now, we'll be back, probably. Unless that comet finally hits. Please.
Come on, comet.